Hello Dragons and fellow investors, my name is Jake MacArthur from Ottawa, Ontario, and I'm here to present to you my company ActiveCharge, an electric infrastructure provider and manufacturer. Growing up, I was always interested in progressive technology, such as what will be the next thing to hit the Earth, such as when computers came to our planet. Other things such as what will make our lives easier, what's going to be next. I had always wanted to be an entrepreneur and be the guy who created the next big thing. For my desire to be an entrepreneur, I went to the University of Toronto and received a Bachelor of Commerce. Coming out of university, I met my future partner of ActiveCharge, who unfortunately could not make today's presentation due to a meeting. But he was a technological engineer and had been working on a project in school dealing with electric cars and how their motors work and their infrastructure, etc. Together, we came up with a wonderful idea. Where is there a need in the world? What's going to be the next big thing to hit this earth? And it was in electric car infrastructure. Very few people were doing this, and there was a large opportunity to hit the market with a new company. Also, it related to me personally. I had owned an electric vehicle since 2005. In the beginning, there were very few places to charge, and I had to plan my trips getting from point A to point B, wondering if I'd have enough charge to get there. So now, since ActiveCharge, I don't have to worry because it's like driving a gas-powered vehicle in the sense that if I'm going to go out somewhere, I'm just going to go and fill up gas. There's no shortage of that. Just as if I'm going to take my electric vehicle out, I can just go and fill up with charge. I know that if I was having this issue with my electric vehicle, there'd be many others out there who'd feel the same way, or who would be turned off by the idea of buying an electric vehicle because there are so few places to charge. So together, with my partner's skill set and my business knowledge, we started the company ActiveCharge, who services consumers with over 5,500 charging stations across Canada, as well as we provide battery swaps and replacements for their electric vehicles, as well as selling to customers our electric chargers for use at home. Our chargers are patented, and we have a group of skillful engineers always looking to improve our services and products. When selling to our customers, we manufacture a product in one of 3 of our warehouses or factories that are then shipped to the customer via truck. The customer can order these products online, over the phone, by mail order, or we do keep some batteries and chargers in select stations across Canada. We started with bank loans and borrowed money from our parents to build the first station and then continued on from there. The company started in 2007, and since then we've grown exponentially, obtaining more employees, expanding our services across Canada, and constructing more electric charging stations. And our revenues have been growing healthy every year. ActiveCharge now services hundreds of thousands of consumers daily, and there's limited opportunity to expand and continue to grow in Canada. There are few competitors in this sector, as only CAA, Certified Automobile Association, and Sun Country Highway provide only real competition. They provide electric charging stations, and they also have chargers, but they're only very few in number. ActiveCharge controls the market by a landslide, as we are the most known and reputable brand across Canada in this market sector. Here I brought for you today an example and visible representation of my product. It is one of our chargers, and it is also used at our electric charging stations, and are used as the pumps from the generators. Here you can see is the charger. You will plug this end I have in my left hand here into your house, and this end goes into your vehicle. Or if you're at an electric charging station, this end would be in the generator, and this you just plug into your vehicle, and it's very light, very durable, it's weather resistant, and our engineers are always coming up with new ways to better our product, and there's different ends that also come with different batteries to charge for different outlets, but mainly all the vehicles are the same, and it's very easy and universal. ActiveCharge wants to help the transition into the electric vehicle world to be easy, efficient, and overall consumer friendly, because there will be a point in our Earth when all vehicles are powered by electricity, as gas sources are running scarce. Ultimately, the reason why I'm here today is because I would like to attain the knowledge and experience you offer as an overall investment as Active Charge plans on expanding worldwide. Active Charge would like to take the expansion very slow and take it one step at a time. We want to test international waters. With electric cars becoming increasingly popular worldwide, it is time to expand and not just have a company that is reputable in Canada, but worldwide and capitalize on opportunity that exists internationally. Active Charge would like to begin our expansion into China, as we view this nation as an ideal fit for beginning expansion. China, the automobile capital of the world. We saw no better fit than expanding to the country who produces the most vehicles per year than any other country. Electric vehicles are becoming more and more popular as every year passes. As gas resources become more scarce and our world and environment becomes more and more unhealthy, people are becoming more eco-friendly, and gas-powered vehicles will eventually become powered from another source, electricity. China is producing more and more electric vehicles every year as the trend continues. And eventually the world's largest automaker in the world will have all of its production focused on electric vehicle production. The demand for electric vehicle infrastructure will be through the roof. However, currently there are only top 3 for production and use of electric vehicles. China has expressed a need for an increased production in electric vehicles as the production is not at mass to a number they are happy with. They have air pollution problems as noted by the Chinese government, and they import huge amounts of oil due to the large amount of drivers and vehicles on the road that they want to be cut down. And we, along with the Chinese government, have noticed that consumers are turned off by the idea of having an electric vehicle because infrastructure is lacking and charging stations are few and far in between. You don't want to run out of charge while driving, and therefore Active Charge would love to capitalize on this opportunity. This relates to my personal stories when I first had my electric vehicle, as I mentioned earlier. I had to plan my trips because there was so few charging stations, and I might run out of charge if I didn't plan my trip accordingly. The Chinese government is providing $16 billion towards the construction of electric vehicle infrastructure, something that us at Active Charge would like to take advantage of while expanding to China. There's obviously a current need for infrastructure in China, and the country has such large potential for growth. Also, with China having a huge population, 1.35 billion approximately, that's a lot of drivers and vehicles on the road, and a lot of drivers driving electric vehicles that need infrastructure. With the potential being so enormous, to begin this venture, however, Active Charge would like to begin with 1,000 charging stations across the nation, set up in various locations. And as demand increases for infrastructure, we will construct and provide more supply for the country. We'd like to make sure we hit major cities like Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou. We would also like to construct one warehouse factory in Beijing and/or Shanghai, as we can manufacture product and ship product to consumers easy, limiting transportation costs as well as limiting travel costs for technicians who service the stations, who can be situated at one of these buildings in China. All transporting of materials is done via truck. However, if materials or products need to be transferred from Canada to China, or vice versa, the materials or products can be shipped across the Pacific, as there is a major shipping port in Shanghai as well as in Vancouver. The introduction of Active Charge will be welcomed tremendously by consumers, especially for those who already have electric vehicles, and it will benefit them with our services, just as with my story and how we created Active Charge and I can now find charging stations. And also, it will benefit the government as we are sufficing their needs for infrastructure, as they have expressed a current need for it. There are very few competitors in this market in China. There are no big companies who have come and taken the reins. There are only small private companies and other home chargers and charging posts at various locations. However, no large infrastructure companies such as Active Charge have come and built infrastructure in China, just as we have in Canada. And And with expanding to a new country, there are changes that have to be made. However, there are only two major changes that will come into play, which is nice, as it'll be an easy transition into a new market. First is the language of the services, as the language in China is Mandarin, compared to English in Canada. The company and all its writing provided dealing with the services and products will have to be in Mandarin, such as the name of the company ActiveCharge will be translated to Mandarin, and instructions on our generators / pumps, etc. The other change is the price. China has a national currency of the yuan that is worth 5.25 yuan to 1 Canadian dollar. This is something to consider when pricing our services, as the currency can fluctuate and we do not want to lose money as a result of currency fluctuation. When setting prices for our services, we price them just as gas stations would, or gas companies. As gas stations charge you per liter, ActiveCharge and other electric charging stations will charge you per kilowatt. And the advantage with driving an electric vehicle and going to electric charging stations is that electricity is much cheaper than oil, as oil is becoming scarce and prices will ramp up as supplies lower. Ultimately, ActiveCharge has the potential to expand further than China and to perhaps expand worldwide in multiple countries and be very successful, more successful than we are now. Not only into new markets, but with electric vehicles still in the baby stages of introduction to the planet, it can only go up and it will improve our current markets, as well as markets worldwide that we'd like to take advantage of. I hope you dragons and fellow investors recognize the potential as I do, and the success that is being presented in front of your eyes. Thank you for your time, and I and ActiveCharge as a whole would love to have you guys on board. Remember, you're not just investing in our company, but you're investing into the future.